Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Philippe Carrel of Calypso. We're at the Thomson Reuters Summit and we're talking about FRTB. Philippe, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So what is FRTB and what does it mean? It's
the fundamental review of the trading book. And it does have a very fundamental implication. As you know, it's part of the Basel III set of regulations, and it consists of an entire review of the market risk approach by enterprise risk management. And is rightly named fundamental because it is indeed the first major change ever since Basel I. And Basel I was 20 years ago. So you're looking at financial institutions who haven't changed much to their market risk infrastructure, the way they compute it, the way they report it, ever since the late 90s. So it is fundamental indeed.
And what challenges do you think FRTB creates?
Well, there are three types of challenges that you will face when you want to go for FRTB compliance. And they are of different amplitude depending on whether you choose the standardized approach, the score SAMR, or the intermodal approach with the IMA. And the first challenge is a workflow challenge, because for the first time they're going to ask the financial institutions to look at risk not from an asset class perspective, but from a risk factor perspective. You see, when you trade equities or you trade fixed income, then you are in different asset classes, but both depend on the value of interest rates, for example, or credit events. So for the first time, the regulator recognizes this overlap and asks you to categorize all your exposures depending on a risk factor. This is fundamental change, and as you guess, it implies a massive change in your workflow and the way you aggregate your exposure and the way you report it. The second challenge is data, because now that we say we want to do what I just described, then obviously you need to gather the information from one system and then another and aggregate it together. Now, as always, are we talking about the same thing? Do we have the proper data? So data will be the next challenge. And the third one is, and especially if you go for the advanced methodology, the IMA, you will face a performance issue.
So what do you see as some of the solutions to these challenges?
So the first solution, I mean, the first approach is to start by cleaning up the data, regardless of the methodology you choose. And everyone I know that has started an FRTB program has embarked in several months of data review, data works of all kind. Where do you get your data? How do you aggregate them together? What are the cleaning processes? What makes you sure that moving forward this will still remain appropriate, and so on. So that is the first thing. The second is to actually seriously consider re-architecting your whole infrastructure, because for the risk factor approach that I just described, then you pretty much need to move the risk management very close to the front office, as opposed to the previous approach where it was totally separated from front office operation or back office operation. Now you may imagine it as a sort of mid-layer in between the front office and the back office. And that has a massive implication on your infrastructure. And then for the third type of issue, performance, then testing is the answer. And for example, we make available to our customers some cloud-based solutions so they can start testing immediately the performance. As soon as they point a risk factor that they want to test for eligibility to FRTB, they can immediately use our infrastructure and start testing, because that's going to take a long, long time.
Philippe, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching.